Hey guys, hope your Friday is going well. Now, what an incredible turnout it's been in the past 24 hours for the analysis and the projections that we did have to the short-term retracements in terms of potentially moving to the upside on an intraday basis, and then of course the downside pullback, which we did manage to see ever so precisely, as we can see from these candles here. Now, let's jump straight in with XRP being the first one to cover right now, and then we will also be including LTC and BAT as well, just to get a bit of market coverage now that we have finally seen the movement to the downside we've been anticipating. Now, the first thing I want to address is the questions. The questions are we still projecting downside? Is there still a possibility we can go lower? Now, the thing is, I do believe there is a possibility to go lower. However, you have to consider there were several external factors. We have fallen precisely to our 29 cents region, and we do have 27 cents located just below, which I do believe is where price could peak should we continue to roll over to the downside. However, why am I not so certain on this just yet, and why do we need to wait for certain factors? Well, we have just broken the long-term trend line on XRP, which I believe is a big instigator for many people to attempt to go short, which you can see from the daily right now. We broke below perfectly to our level here, anticipated, tapped the trend line, we've pulled back, and we've rejected all the way up, testing this level literally right now as we speak, as we can see on the 4-hour time frame. Now, having a look at this from the 4-hour perspective, we can see one failed attempt, one double tap here, falling down to our target one more time. And I do believe this was simply a trap to stop hunt the people that entered long here. We rose up, we fell down, we've now climbed higher, and I do believe there should now be enough momentum to break through this level. I believe it's going to be a false reversal, which will entice many people to short and continue the trend. However, for the short-term perspective, and the reason why I've entered long on both this, on Hugo's Way, and BTC on BitMEX, is because of the Fibonacci extensions that have now occurred. So, having a look at this right now, that does make pretty good sense. You can see it lines up quite nice. However, if I just drag this up to the body, we have a nice midway level here. However, this doesn't interest me too much. Here's what really interests me right now. Dragging this all the way back up either to the body or to the wick and down to the other wick here, you will see something fairly interesting. Now, although the extensions do line up with 26.5 cents and 24 cents. Before we can anticipate such a movement, it would be very irresponsible of me to not cover the potential upside movement before this occurs, because it would be a fairly significant move of even around, especially from this region. Many people have been calling short already, and it's just good to be safe, because we could even tap down here first, retesting this level before absolutely rocketing. So if you have entered long, please just make sure your entries are more near my level and wait for that level if it does pull back. If not, please just do not enter upon a breakout. I don't care how good the upside potential is, it's just too risky to be considering such a movement. However, I am a bit weary that this level around 29 cents will be tapped again and continue. If not, we are looking upon a breakout straight to 32.5 cents. We have a nice moving average correlation as well. We have a trend line from wick to wick, which I will neaten up, as you can see here, nice. And then we have the 61.8 located exactly at 32.5 cents, preempted level. And then we have the 78.6 just above, which could be a potential stop loss hunt upon price reaching this region. I believe price will surge to here. Many people will try and go short. However, we could see that quick stop hunt before then continuing lower. Now, going to the daily. As you can see, the dynamics of XRP are very different right now to the overall market trend, because we do not really have a downside Fibonacci level anymore to project where we potentially could be heading. All I know is right now we have fulfilled a very strong downside channel and a downside movement, which should propel to a very similar movement to this. So if I just get this rotated rectangle out, I don't really use this, but just for the sake of visibility, let's just say you've seen this downside movement now. You've now seen a very similar movement here, which yes, could peak around these levels if you want to extend them by that size. However, the rise was much smaller than the rise to this region here. So ironically, this does actually make fairly good sense to see again, the movement here has pretty much fulfilled the same movement to the downside as the upside. And I do believe after fulfilling a downside movement, this could rocket and break straight through. So the first intraday, I wouldn't even say intraday, the first short-term targets for me are literally 32.5 cents to around the Fibonacci extension over here. Upon there, I would dictate how this level holds, and we can see how price handles these regions. If we see a perfect tap of this trend line, I will just be a bit cautious. However, overall, I believe this could be one of the final breakouts. If we do not sustain this level, this will then be the next progressive leg higher to break above 38 cents and beyond. In saying that, looking at where XRP is right now, look at how BTC has formed a channel on the daily. So I've just started paying attention to this. I managed to preempt this in advance. As you can see, we tapped the highlighted region. We did not break below. And this is one of the reasons right now why I am not too promised, I guess you could say, on a potential spike even lower. I have taken this into consideration. However, with the pullback that's occurred, we have still closed above the prior low. So again, we're making higher highs and higher lows over here, higher highs over here. And we're just progressing through this channel now ever so nicely. And I do believe this could be enough to actually shift us to break to the upside. But in saying that, we have just spiked straight back to the 5,400 level. Going to the 4-hour time frame right now, it is showing signs of what could be more potential downside. However, yet again, I'm believing this is a trap of some sorts, a climb up, a retest, and I believe we're going to shock many people by breaking through. Again, I cannot say ever with 100% certainty, but this 1-hour candle right now to me is screaming bullish breakout very soon. So just paying attention to this. Again, we've got the BitMEX running over there. I'll just get that up as well. 25% running on BitMEX right now. As we can see, we have around 0.15 BTC profit, 26%. We are running on 50 times margin. Incredibly risky. I do not recommend this for anybody unless you have already entered around these regions. Now, I paid special attention to these two levels. I almost made a mini wave, and almost like a region and a box zone to anticipate where price could be pulling back to. And it spiked to this level twice. Perfect closure here. I wouldn't be surprised if this candle just absolutely rockets to the sky. Now, the reason being is we've seen the pullback like we've seen many times before, and there is always another pullback. This is why I said be patient and await price to actually retest our regions before potentially anticipating a further high. So if I go over to actually there's no point to. So basically looking at this right now, let's go to the 1 hour. And the daily, looking at the daily, right, huge wick attempting to break to the upside with a much smaller downside wick. This is telling me even further, despite more potential stop hunts, which I inevitably have to be very cautious of with 50 times margin. However, this 1 hour time frame right now is just screaming a buy to me right now. So it's breaking through, breaking above these wicks. We just need a rocket ship right now to break that level, which it's currently doing. Intraday perspective, 15-minute. I'm loving the BitMEX chart right now as well because there is a bit of a difference. If I go to the 4 hour, get rid of this, drag this down. For some reason, my prices have gone missing from here. But overall, I am targeting if we hit $6,000, that should be around 4.5 BTC profit. So depending on how rapid this breakout to the upside is, that will dictate whether I just move my stop loss into profit, leave it at break even and let it ride, or I just get out early and consider my happy profit. So going over to the BTC chart here, you can see from the 4 hour, we've actually already risen significantly from the low of this candle. However, over here on BitMEX, again, this is just an account I'm using for the course, just doing a little test, running some trades, having some fun flipping the account. So got a big load on the risk right now for this one, as we did make. Guys, did you see the Instagram live, by the way? That was absolutely hilarious. What perfect timing. I was literally on Instagram live just as this move happened, where my short was literally dead on this region here, and funnily enough, it melted. I was trying to close out. There was overloaded warnings everywhere, all over the place. It was going crazy. I managed to close out around here, I think, or somewhere around just above this region, closed out, entered again with 50 times margin, and went from 0.72, I believe it was, BTC profit, to entering again and making another 0.5 BTC, which was legendary to say the least. And I am anticipating now upon this breakout to hopefully breach again. Look at this bullish curvature. As long as we can sustain, this is going to be a very strong breakout. As you can see right now, the candles are moving very rapidly in my favor. And if I go to MT4, which for some reason isn't loading. Okay, no, we need to worry about that. We'll just leave that for the time being. Not sure why that's not working, but going to BTC, let's use the trading view chart as well, just for a bit more clarity. We have seen that daily candle surge all the way up here now. Now, the way this works, even if it closes all the way back down to this current level, I believe we've seen so much upside momentum that in the worst case scenario, we could just start seeing some slow trendline retest. But even if the daily candle closes below here, I believe this could just rocket straight to the upside and start slowly progressing towards $5,800 to $6,000. If I go to the 1 hour, what do we see? It's just a breakout. The candle's just closed. It's 11 p.m. here in the UK, and I'll just draw this out as well. Little level to worry about there. Break, potential retest, continuation. However, the 1 hour is not too necessary on this, but it's just good to see the consistency of tapping into our purple highlighted zone. Pulled up, tapped precisely, exactly as stated in many Wizard Wednesdays. Rocketed, pulled back, didn't sustain. And I really do believe this thing is going to rocket to the sky. Now, the only thing to be cautious of is, of course, the Fibonacci potential setups to the downside, which could come into play. And that's how I managed to anticipate that level there. It was a fib extension as well. So let's just draw this from body to body first to see what we're looking at right now. And we do have those levels just above, around 5471 and 5540 located just there. If I extend this out from the wick to wick, let's just see how this looks as well. Looks okay, and although it has tapped these levels, which shows they're very valid levels, price is not really considerable as a 61.8% retracement yet, as it's literally happened immediately upon this candle touching. So the next candle spiking so soon, if anything, to me is more of a positive sign than a bad sign. So in terms of entering BTC longs, if you're using the Hugo's Way platform, I'd be cautious because the price action will mimic this. But again, if you go onto BitMEX, it's pretty easy to look at. We're at the lows right now on this platform for some very strange reason. And again, if this candle can close green, okay, we're in 0.23 BTC profit now. It's looking magnificent. So hopefully we can even get a Bitcoin or two out of this trade, even if it just spikes up to here. So the only real threat for me, guys, in all honesty, is the Fibonacci extensions just holding out. However, we can simply clear that one out by marking this off here. I'll get rid of this because I already know this level's just above. It's quite clear. It's not really a significant level. We've seen one reversal from it, but not enough to really worry about. And looking at the weekly as well. Guys, I know it looks a bit messy, but I do not want to remove my stuff as I've had these plotted for a reason. Now, again, 1, 2, 3. The wick has now ascended. We fulfilled the stop hunt, just as I stated. The weekly inclining wicks. The wicks are getting higher. All I can expect again maybe is another stop hunt, maybe another 1 or 2. However, we are looking very good for that momentum. As for Ether, look at the trend line there. Now, I know we've got a bit of a Fibonacci havoc going on. So let's just check where these are starting from. We have A, we have B, and we have the C regions up here, located around 166 and $171, which is a region I have been cautious of. So if we do see that upside surge with XRP and BTC, again, XRP is just looking to rip through that trend line, and I really think it's just going to explode, guys. Let me close this and try reopen this whilst that loads. I do believe it's going to rip through because the XRP trade is in very good profit as well. So it is worth covering on the MT4 platform, as I know many of you do take the same trades. What is the app called, guys? Is it Activity Monitor? Yes, it is. I do apologize for doing this on here. However, I want to give you guys a full analytical breakdown of this. So let's force quit that bad boy, and it's gone. Thank goodness. Let's open that back up whilst we work. So looking to break through. We'll see how that looks on the MT4 platform as well. But in the meantime, let's just go back to Ether. So in line with the other pairs, we have the Ethereum trendline and the Fibonacci holding perfectly. I'm surprised many people were not expecting this anyway. That's why I drew this in advance. If you remember, I believe it's from the 4th or 5th Wizard Wednesdays. I've been saying this now. It's been almost 2-3 weeks. There we go. Lovely jubbly. So this is in almost $1,800 profit right now on the daily. Rejection, huge spike, stop loss hunt. Now we are slowly pulling up. So I can get rid of this. Now it's broken. This is no longer valid in my opinion. Going over to the 4 hour as well. As you can see, just breaking out exactly as covered in Telegram. Breaching this region, just need to close above that level just there. And I think it's going to blow through the roof, to be honest with you. 1 hour as well. I mean, this thing's just ready to rumble. Hopefully we do not see another pullback, but if we do, just be cautious. If you're using MT4, this is what to look out for, guys. Just look at that level there, although it's pretty much popping off right now as we speak. So just watch out, you might see another retest here. Stop loss is in profit. We're looking at $395 just to be a bit beyond break even. I do prefer to secure profit. And again, just practicing what I preach in the Telegram. So as you can see, it's working very nicely in my favor, almost 2K profit now. So let's just let that run for a little bit and see how it's looking on the trading view chart. Again, breaking through. So again, a little live insight. I think this is quite valuable for many of you, comparing the MT4 platform to the trading view platform and using both hand in hand. As you can see, this is unfolding now. For all we know, by the end of this video, it could very well just surge straight to this region and you get to watch a live trade be closed out, because I also have, again, it's been around a 20K, 25K day so far, thanks to the likes of gold and some forex trades as well. Still holding that gold long. I'll just throw that in there from now. I had two, I think it was 5 lots or so around this region here, closed out before the spike, then re-entered another 3 lots just here, just to catch that final move. So just waiting for this to fulfill to hit around 7K profit, and it will pretty much be in a matter of 3-4 trading days around 30K profit. So it's really good right now. Trading's going great. And again, you guys have, if you've been following me on my personal Instagram, you would have seen every single trade covered in advance from the entries, posted on my story. And for the crypto stuff, I've been keeping you guys up to date as much as possible. And hopefully you can see now why I cover both sides of the stories, because although we are still going long, again, let's go to BitMEX now. We're now in 0.4 BTC profit, around 65%. So dropping that down to the 4 hour again. Oh my goodness, we are looking great. 1 hour, please roll over. So Ether, I do get distracted, but I'm just trying to show you guys the confluences of everything and how fast my brain actually works when it comes to trading. This is why I give consistent updates, because I'm here to just cover every single angle and cover all these possibilities. So we're looking at a pretty clear long upside target right now from this level here. So just be cautious, seeing how it holds depending on how it does. We have further downside targets here. Now, if this does happen in some strange flash crash, then we could even be in for further lows. So the only reason I targeted much lower in the beginning, and why if they did not pull through, I'm no longer confident on further downside. That's because if it did not occur during the flash crash and price then holds on all the normal levels, then it's pretty much just continuing the trend the way it should be. Whereas if it spiked through even lower and then pulled back up, we would still continue the trend anyway. However, it would be more likely there could be another downside pullback first. However, judging from how price is holding right now, I cannot complain. It's looking pretty promising. So 4 hour perspective, what are we looking at? False breakout, I do believe this is going to be. We just need to creep above about $155 and boom, straight to these upside targets. If not, we may see a very sharp sudden downfall. But that's not looking too likely right now, especially from that 1 hour time frame. So daily is looking great. What are the other signs to look for? Well, if I clear this mess of a Fibonacci setup, A, B, C, D, perfectly in line with our upside target, and secondly, in line with our other upside target. This is why I really want to potentially just hold BTC to that level up there. And all I'll actually do now is set a $6,000. Oh, that was messy, but better be safe than sorry, just in case. You never know, may not fully reach, and I will leave that there for the time being to close those positions. So we are looking at, I will get this up actually, so I did calculate this roughly from this region. We are looking at around 4.45 BTC profit if we do see this sustained. So looking at that level there, exit price around 6K. Worst case scenario, let's go back, have a little look so you can project with me. To be fair, guys, look at how high it is already. It's looking very unlikely it's going to pull back anytime soon. And best case scenario is if it breaks above that channel, that will be 5,800 fulfilled. Potential little tap back to around 5,700 and the rocket ship can commence. So overall, just letting you guys know that yes, there is still a potential downside threat, but for the time being, this short-term momentum is looking to the upside, and from there we can dictate if we're going to plummet lower for XRP, for Ether, if we're going to fall down to this trend line, which don't really see that happening right now, because look, we are forming those higher highs, higher lows. Higher high was formed, lower low was formed here, but guess what? It's a higher low than the prior one. If I duplicate this, let's do some channel magic, see how that looks. Well, drag the chart, not to... Again, guys, this isn't really accurate. I don't really like using this stuff on crypto. However, just for the sake of this, I'll draw this here just so you guys can see if we really did just bounce, 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 the channel is aligned just there. But again, very risky stuff to use with crypto as they never normally abide. This is just a complete one-off. Normally, you would get obliterated trying to attempt such a channel. So again, just take that into consideration. There are many confluences furthering our upside bias. However, we may just see a little bit of a hold and a pullback. If it comes to long opportunities, if you haven't got entries around my regions, so anywhere near the bottom here, or anywhere here, nope, that's gold. Where has XRP gone? There we go, it's right next to it. If you haven't got entries around the lows here where the manipulation occurred, this is why I sometimes use those time frames as a good example. We saw a fall down. Again, you've seen the initial move. Again, take this into consideration. This is a very valuable lesson to be learnt here. We've seen the initial surge. Everyone goes long. This is standard. Everybody tries to catch the move. Price starts ascending. You start believing it's going to just blow through the roof. Price then pulls back one last time. It can normally align with this, or it can drop all the way lower, stop hunt the person that entered here, and then continue on its way. And I do believe now these stops have been fulfilled. The upside momentum can now commence. So take that into consideration. You will see this occurring a lot in the market, and if you know how to spot it, if you know to be vigilant, you can catch excellent entries. I mean, look at that on a daily perspective and on a weekly perspective. If there is a way to enlarge this as much as possible, I'm not sure I can, no. So you can see if this weekly candle does just ping, I've technically caught this from the very low accumulation zone. You will notice I talk a lot about buy orders and manipulation in the market, where many institutions will preempt their buy levels and their sell levels. I am basically imitating. If you've copied the Wizard Wednesdays, where I teach you to not necessarily preempt and manipulate yourself, but you almost have to pretend you are trying to manipulate yourself out of a trade. When you look at every trade as if you are being manipulated, you know to not get manipulated, and you will trade like the manipulators instead. A tongue twister, I know, but it bloody works, that's for sure. Where are we going next? I will have to hide that. So many tabs, I've lost control. There we go. So going back to this, we'll jump onto BAT as well quickly, just to reinstigate the importance of not buying into hype. As I said it was either the prior Wizard Wednesdays or the one before, trendline break 1 2 3. I was expecting to see this level hold, however it broke through. Everybody started to jump on board. Twitter went crazy, Instagram went crazy, Telegram groups going crazy. Buy BAT, buy BAT, buy BAT. First thing I said after seeing this spike, I drew this zone on the Wizard Wednesdays and said do not even think about it. It's very unlikely and very risky. We could be, especially on a weekly, to see a pullback from 47 cents to 36 cents. It's just very severe, in my opinion. And looking at how this thing's moved before, we could very easily see 0.32 to 0.3 to test that trend line before slowly rolling over. So just be a bit cautious with BAT, and I think it just teaches everyone a valuable lesson that do not buy into the hype. It doesn't matter if the news is covering it, if Telegram groups are covering it, if Twitter or Instagram is talking about it. Just take it easy and kind of do your own knowledge, use your own analysis, and just look at the charts. The charts were showing rejections after rejections. There was a slight look at a potential upside, but nope, we sustained and we've pulled back. So just goes to show you have to be careful. Now, when it comes to upside potential, we have the wick to wick trend line on LTC. We have fallen just short, which does suggest there may be a bit more room to fall down for LTC. However, if you want to be a cheater, which many people like to do, you can obviously just do that, and it does actually make sense. It's pretty much holding right now. So you do technically have that level as well if you do not want to have that method. But if you want to extend it out just in case we see a pullback, please feel free to do so. Because if it does pull back, it will land straight onto this trend line, and you will have a nice, excellent entry to go from. If it breaks, you know you could just go straight down to the next downside targets. And it's the only thing that scares me with LTC. I've never really seen this before, and just seeing how it progressively gets higher like a hill, it kind of puts a bit of a threatening perspective on it for me. So overall, the main focus for now is BTC, 1 hour time frame. Please bless us with more bullish goodness. Ethereum, great 1 hour time frame, mimicking the rest as well. Daily is looking incredibly good, holding that position. Just be cautious of the same downside spikes in the initial entry regions. Same goes for the BitMEX platform. May see some more retests there. If it taps that white line, I am liquidated, so I'm not too fussed. I could realistically just take some profits now and call it quits. However, I'm looking to ride this potential move even back up to here. As for XRP, same entries. If it retests this region, which it may do, just have some buy orders ready, because I believe this should tap around this 29 cents again, maybe dip a bit low, and then ping straight to the upside in a stop hunt frenzy, which the market seems to be doing. So guys, I am sorry for the delay. I know it's been a bit later than expected. However, a crazy amount of content I'm doing behind the scenes right now. Again, no more discussions, but I will say congratulations to the 2 winners of the competition as well. And I'm going to see how these competitions go, if they are getting a lot of traction, which on Instagram and Twitter they absolutely did, which was overwhelming to say the least, at how many people want education. To be honest with you, it's just motivated me even more. I was in a bit of a slow pace in terms of just getting everything done. I was giving everything I could, but I realized I wasn't giving enough. A slow pace for me is everything I've been doing already, but just not enough in my head. I'm very competitive with myself, not really, I never compare myself to anybody else. I only ever have a war or competition with myself, so I prefer to just stay in my own lane and try and grow myself as a person. And I found that the more I seem to help people and the more I seem to give, the more I find happiness in my own life, and watching others become happy through either profitable cause, education, or even some form of small aspect that's impacted your life makes me happy. So I think one-on-one mentorships have never been done by me before, so it's going to be the 2 people chosen, which will be tomorrow evening. You will be the first to actually experience a one-on-one 30-minute intensive masterclass. I'll be giving away secrets and strategies from the upcoming Wizard course. I have never revealed these before, so I'll be giving you guys a little insight into this as well. On top of that, you guys are pretty much going to get your charts broken down from scratch. You let me know. It's almost a 30-minute Q&A. You let me know what you're struggling with, what the problems are, and I'm going to help. And as I said in the Telegram, who knows if this is successful, if you guys like the way I teach. Remember, first ever time doing this. If you enjoy it, I will most definitely be doing this again and again and again. So guys, have a great weekend coming forward. As usual, the updates will be progressing whilst I work in the background, and enjoy those profits. I have decided to potentially do a lesson in the course where I will wrap my McLaren Wizard purple, as it's currently blue. I'm going to wrap it purple. I will cover the whole payment process via crypto, get that recorded, and that will be an additional segment in the course with some educational reasons behind it, using crypto Visa debit cards as well. So very exciting stuff coming. A magnitude of money has been earned throughout the Telegram in terms of you guys as well. Spend those profits, have a withdrawal, treat yourself, have a good weekend. CryptoWZRD over and out.